externally not feeling like I was enough, because I was seeing people get celebrated and recognized, which is what I was fueled by, for financial stuff, that I said, wow, that is not my life. And suddenly the life of world traveling that I had and living out of a suitcase seemed like it was a way for my ego to make me feel bad about myself, that I was a weird one because this is what most people are supposed to be doing and you're not going in that direction.
Welcome to Point to Rise, your podcast that gives you permission to dream big, take messy action, and turn your talent into profit while turning your back on perfection. My name is Susanne Purcell, high performance and mindset coach, former international ballerina, profitable entrepreneur, and founder of Point to Rise, a movement designed to empower dancers. It is my mission to use my own story as an inspiration for today's generation of dancers. And now sit back, stretch, warm up, or sip your coffee and love learning how much it matters to point at yourself first to rise to all that you are capable of. Love you. Hi, happy Monday, my love. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
How are you?
So good.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel really great. There's lots of good stuff, good energy coming into my world lately. So I'm feeling good. And I love Mondays. I look forward to these conversations. I really just love the energy with us together to kick off my week. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh, ditto. Right back at you.
Yeah. What's new in your worlds? What's happening?
Oh man, big. I would say actually a huge breakthrough for me. I have been doing some energy healing, and I was confronted what really gave me the fears that were holding me back. And literally the day after, this great idea came to my head that is absolutely frightening and pushes me way above my upper limit. And it's definitely it used to be on the list, I'm never going to do this kind of thing. And I find myself not even being able to sleep because I'm so excited.
Yes.
I was on a summit where Mark Cuban spoke around investing and how to start a business, how he did everything. It was highly inspirational. And he happened to mention the 3 companies that I came across that I want to emulate and build. I was like, oh, wow, the universe is definitely hard at work. And I so appreciate you. So that was my week. And it was like, I still levitate, I would say. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that we can talk about this stuff, because before I was open to energies and things like energy healing, when that was introduced to me, that's what I experienced of, at first I thought, am I making it up? Is this like, am I just thinking something? But, the more you work on that and the more you're open to it, that's the stuff that happens. Like, stuff just starts to flow, or an idea will just pop in and everything just gets clear around a certain thing that I used to, sit and toil and use my intellect to try to figure out. And there's an aspect of us that's so much deeper to find those answers. And it's so cool. And I love that. I love that I can talk about this with you. And I love that you're experiencing that right now.
And you know what? All of a sudden it becomes so easy.
Yeah.
It is not hard anymore. Like the faith that I was never allowed to have.
Yeah.
It's just there. It just pops up. And the less I do, the more I accomplish, which is so against everything that we ever learned in our life. Yeah, I'm in love with the whole concept, with energy. I have so many multiple numbers appearing on a daily basis now in front of me. I'm like, wow, okay, got it. I am going to follow my instincts moving forward. And that feels so good. It takes the pressure off. It
Yeah.
makes me feel like I don't have to do anything. I'm just gonna follow fun and joy and everything that feels good, right? And that's really where the magic lies. Yeah.
Yes. Yay,
Oh, yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Get down to business.
Yes.
Yeah. For you that are actually listening to us, Christy is actually, it's Makeup Monday for her today. She is uh, stunning, like glowing in her white shirt and makeup and the hair down. And I'm freshly showered, no makeup, and a baseball cap on today. So this is the current state of how we record podcasts.
Yes.
Do you have a quote? Do you have anything that
Yes.
perhaps inspired you last week while I pull up mine?
Yeah. And, I didn't know when we were going to do that, but exactly what you just said goes into what I'm about to say, which is what the magical thing I love about getting together with you every week, because there's synchronicities with us being not even in the same country like every week. So I am currently rereading Infinite Self by Stuart Wilde, 33 Steps to Reclaiming Your Inner Power. And a quote that absolutely triggered my ego and why I want to share and love it. He says, seriousness is a disease of the ego. And at first, oh, right. I thought you would like that one too. I thought this was an appropriate one to share. Why it triggered me is because I actually would have defined that as a characteristic of myself up until a few months ago, for like a lifetime. Everything was serious. I took everything so serious. But he says that ultimately, whether that triggers you or not, and it definitely did for me, so that's okay if it does. What his point is that it comes from a perspective of us, that's the analytical side, that's the intellect side, that wants to show either arrogance or it's showing insecurity underlying. So when you inflate something about yourself or about what you're doing, and it's so important, it's so serious, and it's serious work, that's really the underlying cause is probably one of those two. And so he's saying if you become big in your feelings instead of big in your intellect or what you're presenting to the world, and have more play through that work, you can have intentional work, you can be disciplined, you can be working on something that matters to you, but bring exactly what you just said, bring the play, bring the fun. How can you be childlike in the work that matters to you? So that was what I wanted to share, because that for me was like, wow, big breakthrough. Because that's also why, like you said, I have been programmed to work so hard, and everything had force behind it, because it was serious, and my life is serious, and my goals are serious, and there's restriction with that kind of energy.
Work and fun never really went hand in hand, right? Like there was no, they're opposites, they don't attract, they don't work together. If you want to be a dancer, don't go have fun. Which for me, then after I left the school, completely went the other way. I wanna, so The Big Leap is my new Bible, and I'm gonna add something to the ego. And this paragraph, I read it over and over again, and it is for me so, it describes what we're seeing in the arts right now. Many of our fears are based on the working of the ego, the part of us that's focused on getting recognition and protecting us from social exclusion. In the zone of genius, your ego is unnecessary. Living there is its own reward. In the zone of genius, you cease to care about recognition or ostracism, which is exclusion. Once you make a commitment to inhabiting your full potential, your ego is suddenly faced with extinction.
Mm.
Your ego is faced with extinction. if you're completely living in your zone of genius, when you really tap into your full potential, you no longer need your ego. Like it's not going to come up because you know that what you're doing is the right thing. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't need anybody else around you to tell you that you're doing a great job.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Okay. So, what does that all have to do with money and our earning capacity? That let's look at, and we talked about this a little bit last week. The saving money, the old beliefs around saving, having the hamster stack or the squirrel account or whatever that looks like for you, versus investing.
Mhm.
You want to start with some thoughts
Sure.
on me first?
I can go first.
Yeah, go.
All right. Well, where would you like me to go? Because I feel like this could be
Yeah.
this
So
go all over the place.
um, I I have learned so much around money and the beliefs that we were submised to over our upbringing, over our careers in and around money, and never really explored what other options there are.
Mhm.
So let's start with, by, I don't know, 28, you had to have your house, your car, your boat. And if not, then you were, you know, seen as not worthy or, I mean, that's extreme.
Yeah.
However,
No, that's
at
right.
least own your house and own your car.
Yeah.
And that was always what I strive for. And then I had my house and I had my car, and I'm like, but that's heavy. Like this doesn't feel right. This is actually costing me more. Um, However, I never dug a little deeper into these feelings and thoughts that what other options are out there.
Mhm.
Um, so let's go there. That this belief of you have to own in order to be financially feasible or safe, or that's your safety net. Let's just
Yeah.
say it that way. Okay.
Yeah. I love that. And I definitely had that impression too. And that actually tying into my dance career was where I started to have conflict of my career choice and seeing what was the reflection of life and success and all that, because by my late mid to late 20s I was nowhere near having those things,
Mm,
and I was watching people that I had gone to school with or whatever, obviously not in the arts, start to have those things, start to get married, start to buy a house, start to do all the things, and I felt the societal pressure of what we just talked about with the quotes of externally not feeling like I was enough, because I was seeing people get celebrated and recognized, which
yeah.
is what I was fueled by, for house, for financial stuff, that I said, wow, that is not my life. And suddenly the life of world traveling that I had and living out of a suitcase seemed like it was a way for my ego to make me feel bad about myself, that I was a weird one because this is what most people are supposed to be doing and you're not going in that direction. So then I started to have those feelings. And at the time, my now husband and I were dating, and he actually purchased his first house, and it was not a starter home. He was very successful in his business. It was a big house with a lot of land, and it was a big thing. And so then, soon after I moved in with him, and then we were playing house and
Mm,
had cars and all the things. And I said, okay, cool. I'm kind of making both sides work for me. I was able to work in the industry in that area, have play house and do all the things. I said, wow, this is really cool. Okay, we're on the road to having, like, in my mind, it all. I got to have both sides of it. But with those things come a lot of responsibility and a lot more money than may be presented when you want to fix something, or the boiler breaks, or you need to fix the pool pump, because that's what we had. The pool pump broke, and then there's, we need a riding lawnmower because there's too much lawn. We can't just use a push mower. All of these things started to come up that very quickly Jay and I said, oh my gosh, why? We don't want this. We actually don't want this. We thought we did because that's what was presented. I don't know if you want me to keep going, but that's when we were in it, we realized this isn't necessarily for everyone. And if it is for you, awesome. But we were presented with, we aren't successful. And both of us at the time really required, for us to feel good about ourselves, we required that external validation. And that was a way to validate it. It was very impressive, and it was very awesome, and it was a level of a check. But ultimately we realized this isn't the kind of investment that is really going to work for us unless we stay in this for
30
decades.
years.
If this has to be our end, in our I was in my late 20s, he was in his early 30s. This had to be what life looked like then if it was going to work for us. And that was a big eye opener. And we didn't realize that until we were in.
So much to add there, because when you tie up a lot of cash, and let's just say cash, it really is truly king. You tie up a lot of cash when you actually buy a house to live in it. Now, buying a house to invest as an investment,
Yes.
and have, renters, you can figure all of these costs in there. When I did the same thing, 28, house owner, car owner, until all the repairs came. And on a dancer's salary, 2 dancers, like it was impossible. Like we were in so much debt because of that. All our credit cards were maxed out, even though we had people living with us. It was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And here's what I learned. And here's like, I own one house. Well, not anymore. Sold that too, in Germany. I give all of that away because cash is king. And I learned that having money sitting in the bank as a savings account is really pretty to look at, and it gives me lots of stability, but I'm enabling the bank to make more money because they're giving me like 1, 2, or 3% if I am lucky.
Yeah.
But they're making 6 or 7 because they're using it for credits or anything like that. So having it sit in your bank account is definitely an old belief that we have been, I don't know, given by our parents for a long time, that it is not the truth anymore. So as much as you work for yourself, go and make that money that you earning so hard and invest it. Invest it in yourself. That has definitely the highest return of investment, and use part of it to make you more money. Now that could actually be something that, levels up your income. So these, and quite honestly, any kind of business is doing exactly the same thing. Out of their 100%, they take, I don't know, 20% they invest back into the business. And then another 30% is to make them more money so that if there are dry times, they have something to fall to. They don't have a savings account, but they have something that has a return of investment on a monthly basis. And that's what I see for the arts. If we weren't investing 40% of our yearly income into raising more money, like we're creating consistently a lack mentality versus a mentality of wealth And there is a huge difference. Okay, catch me, please. I'm
Yes, yes. No, I completely agree with that. I actually would advise everyone to look at the cash flow quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. He really outlines the different ways to create wealth, and that um, 95% of the world's wealth come from 5% of the population. And that's because people don't understand how to create wealth. And exactly what you said, it's we're now, I will say, um, we are not brought into a world that presents us with this kind of education. We are brought into a world, even if we're not in the arts, we are brought into a world that teaches us to get a job, to go to school, get an education, get however many cajillion degrees, depending on what you want to do, and go get a job. They do not teach us how to create wealth. So that is part of what you're saying. It uh, we have to find the strength in us to break the mold of, flowing down the stream that everybody else is going, and actually taking a look around at what else is available. It's when we do that all of the stuff we talked about for weeks, the spirituality part, the manifestation part, the ease and flow, the money, all those things start to present themselves to us because we've stepped outside of the flow of where everybody else is going to actually start looking around at other things. So I would say first is have the, even if it's so small right now, have the openness and the willingness to take that step outside of what you see around you and start just looking around at what else there is and see what feels right for you. So the cash flow quadrant with Robert Kiyosaki will show you that there are ways to create wealth that aren't just get a job, go in for your 8 hours of rehearsal and take your paycheck. There are other ways that you can start to make money work for you. And I think that that's kind of where you were going is to learn how to make money for work for you,
yeah.
not just, you're just scrambling to get whatever you can get. I could also go on a tirade, so we might have to just keep like pausing and bouncing back and forth because it's such a big topic.
Well, you know what I've learned over the past year specifically is that the energy of money definitely follows.
Yeah.
So if you have a unhealthy, I'm putting that in quotation marks, energy flow or relationship or thoughts around money, well, it's not gonna come to you. You will not be blessed with ideas, or you will not be able to look outside the box. And I think Jen Sincero, she said when she first started reading about how to change her money mindset, she read like one sentence out of Wallace Wattles' book. Oh, what was it? Damn it, I should have. It's so like when we deny ourselves the thought that money can buy happiness, like in order to be really fulfilled in life, you need to be filthy rich, and filthy as in good. And that for her was so appalling that she actually closed the book right back down and didn't touch it for another 2 years. Until then, it completely changed her life. So she wasn't ready to hear that because she didn't have that great of a relationship with money yet. So I would say that when we find ourselves still believing that in the arts you shouldn't have money, and you're you're bad if you do, and all of these old stories that we have been talking about the past couple weeks, that's where you have to start. This is where you have to dig in and really understand money is a great tool. Oh my gosh, it certainly, we only have so much time to give.
Yeah.
It's not renewable. This is the only thing that we get. And I was always thinking that money has the same energy, but it doesn't.
Mm.
Money is a renewable source that we, depending on how open you are to receiving it, it will always flow in. You just have to believe that it will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think part of that openness is the, like I was saying, just to step one step outside and to accept that there are other ways of being is the first step energetically, to just be open to even see what else is around us and what else you like to do. And again, like, I never want to come on these podcasts and make anyone feel like I'm telling them to leave their dance career and
No,
go
no,
in
no.
pursuit of making all this kind of money. What
I don't
I
think you have to. I
No, I
think
don't
you
think
can have
so.
it all. Yeah.
I absolutely believe that too. And I believe that we're all put here with some sort of gift to bring to the world. And even if it's your dancing, how can you use your creativity to your advantage or to the benefit of other people outside of what you do within your company or at your theater or whatever job that you're doing? What else could be a passion project for you to put some focus on? Or what else, you know, um, who could you partner with? Who could you collaborate with to
Mm.
maybe make some sort of partnership together that you like? I am so blessed that we were connected because I love collaborating with you. Like, I love your energy. I love the energy I feel like when I talk to you. So, if we're open to that, who might you be able to meet that you're so excited to just, bounce ideas back and forth? This podcast came complete, like, of you already had your podcast, but
No.
this idea to
Yeah.
come on every week came from, I don't even know what. I was doing Facebook lives and we're in touch all the time and whatever, and it just kind of happened. And that's the thing. If you just let things flow, who or what would just fire you up to add a little bit of time each week that might bring a whole new opportunity for you alongside of what you're doing. And I, looking around at the way the world is right now, the only people who are actually having a financial advantage are the ones that have multiple streams of income going on.
Amen. Yeah. That's so the belief, as you said before, and I'm going to dig in there, is that, you do your 9 to 5, you do your 10 till 6 p.m., you go to the studio, you come back home. I mean, in Portland, we had to be there. We weren't even allowed to do anything else. Some companies don't allow their dancers to go guest anywhere else, which, that's a whole other gamut. But when you, even if you find yourself in that kind of environment, then how else can you make this situation work for you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what else can you do, even if it's 20 minutes a day, even if it's an hour a day, where you can take in some more inspiration around artists do not have to be starving. You do not have to save your money. You don't have to have the house at 35. Even with having a child, you don't have to have the minivan. All of these things are societal
Mm-hmm.
stories that have been given to us. Go and search out the ones that are really successful, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that you don't even believe you you can emanate,
Mm-hmm.
because it hasn't been in the stars for you, because you're standing on stage, because every dancer so far has not made a lot of money besides the 0.1% that have been blessed with, I don't know, luck or whatever you want to call it, that are successful. Well, we're telling you, you can be exactly the same. It may not look like that, but you can create your own definition of success.
And I think that that's the biggest thing that I have just very recently come to really accept in myself, is that there is no black or white, in my opinion. And again, I am not a financial investor. This is my passionate heart coming out. But I don't believe in any of this, in savings and investing in multiple businesses and whatever you want to do, ventures. There's no one way to do it. And ultimately, look at what you want. What would your ideal life look like? If you could literally just wave a magic wand, what would the ideal life look like for you? And it looks different. For me and my husband, we don't have any children. We have no intention of having any children. We don't ever want to own a home again. We actually don't really even want a permanent address anywhere. We are building a life where very soon we will be living out of 4 suitcases and Airbnb across the world with our cat. That is my ideal life. That excites me. To some people, that sounds horrendous, and they want their space, and they want their home, and they want their big family. So really look at, and it's all beautiful because it's all whatever we want. So look at what you really want, and then let that start to open up for what avenues are right for you to create that. It doesn't have to look like you said, like, what they told our grandparents that life had to be, and with the gold watch and the pension and all that. Like, that's not the world we live in anymore. And we are given freedoms somewhat, a little bit more. Society's a little bit more open to encouraging you, but whether it's encouraged or not, follow you. Because whenever we go by that mold, that's what Jay and I did. We followed that house literal white picket fence mold, and we hated it. So it showed us to follow what's inside, not what people are telling or told us. Yeah, everybody encouraged us to do that.
And that includes the industry that you're in, right? Like whatever their beliefs are, I really strongly suggest to question every single one of them for yourself. Like, does that fit? Does that jacket really fit? Or is it getting tighter and tighter and tighter? And are you outgrowing it? And if you feel like it's too tight, then take it off and find a bigger one. That is, well, that's growth. That's life. That's what we go through. We want to talk about saving versus investment, but this is much better. We're not here to give you like financial advice. I am not a financial wizard. I am just stepping into that whole investing, finding stocks, etc., which is highly interesting, by the way, just saying. And we're teaching our kids too, because I really want them to be we have the advantage that they're homeschooled right now, and therefore they have way more time, like an hour and a half, 3 days a week. That's all it's really needed for the curriculum to take in. Everything else is a gift. So we're taking a little bit of time with our oldest one to look about investing and how to create wealth, hard word, wealth, versus an income that you're trading your time for.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting on how receptible he is and interested, and what it opens up in my husband and I as well. So to round things up today, to bring it home, go venture out, go be curious, go have fun, and understand that these beliefs that have been given to us are just that, somebody else's beliefs. And you can make your own. You can create literally the life that you want. It is not because you're too short or your legs aren't going up or you can only do 2 periods versus 5. That is not what is holding you back. What is holding you back is the belief that you can't.
Yeah. I don't even want to say anything more to that. That was beautiful.
We send you so much love, and till next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for listening. If this message resonates with you, please pass it on to someone who needs to hear this right now. And if you like what you've heard, your feedback will go a very long way. If you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, that would mean the world to me. Till next time, point at yourself to rise to all that you are capable of.